In this exciting tutorial, I'm going to show you guys how to make a beautiful, elegant wedding dress with very simple steps. Everything is beginner friendly. Even if you've never made a wedding dress before, you're going to learn how to sew it from scratch and also how to embellish it with beautiful applique. I'm going to show you all the sewing techniques and tricks that you need to know, whether a beginner or an advanced. You're going to learn how to decorate your beautiful dress after it is sewn. So before we start sewing the dress, I just want to analyze the anatomy of this dress so that you can follow along easily when I start sewing. So this dress has got three parts: the bustier bodice, the skirt, pencil skirt, and the lower mermaid. So I'm going to attach the lower mermaid to the dress. I'll show you how to do just that. As you can see, the bustier and the skirt are separate. So first we're going to make the bustier off shoulder, then we'll make the pencil skirt that was going to reach on the knees, then later on we attach the mermaid with the train. So I'll show you all this in this exciting tutorial, and like I said, all you have to do is watch up to the end, and also don't forget to subscribe so that you won't miss out when I post and share more exciting sewing tutorials like this one and many more. So without further ado, let's get into the sewing. So step one, we're going to sew the bodice bustier, off shoulder bustier. So I have my satin fabric and my lining of the off shoulder bustier. This is the lining, which has 3 pieces for the front. I'm going to stitch them together, and I'm also going to do the same for my satin. This is also the satin for the front off shoulder bustier. I'm going to stitch them together. But before I start stitching, I want to give you a tip. Before you start sewing, make sure you wind your bobbins, at least 2 bobbins, so that you don't run out. In case the other bobbin runs out, you won't be inconvenienced. It's very important. Make sure you wind 2 bobbins. So I'm going to get white thread, then I'll wind my bobbin. Because my wedding dress is white, I have to make sure I'm using white thread. It's very important to use matching thread. Then after winding the bobbin, I'm going to sew the bustier along the princess lines. So I'm just going to start with my fabric. I'm going to stitch them, and I'm also going to do the same for my lining. I'm going to stitch the pieces together. So you can make your off shoulder bustier using your pattern. Then after that, you're going to press the seams open with a hot steam pressing iron. It's very important to press your seams open because it gives a more professional finish, a perfect look. Make sure your seams are always pressed open. So I'm just going to do that as you can see me do. Then turn it to the right side, press again. Then if you have a clapper, you can also use the clapper. Use foot tip. You can also use a wooden clapper, like I said, when pressing, for perfect results. So I'm just going to show you how to do it with the wooden clapper. So after pressing with your steam iron, you can just get this wooden clapper. You can have it made by your local carpenter, or you can buy it already in a store, fabric store, or where they sell sewing accessories. It's just a simple wooden thing. It's called a clapper. Then after pressing, I'm going to sew the lining and also do the same thing I did. I'll press the lining. Then after sewing the lining, I'm going to join the bodies together. Then I join the bodies to the skirt. So remember, like I said, we have the bustier, we have the skirt, and also we have the lower part, which is the flare. So my bodice is ready. This is the satin fabric, and also this is my skirt. So I'm just going to stitch them together on the waistline. I'll open my satin fabric, then I'm going to stitch. I'm going to do the same with the satin, with the lining, sorry. I'll get the bodice bustier lining, attach it to the lining skirt, then take it to the sewing machine and stitch together. Then after I attach the two together, this is what I'm going to have. So I have a full dress, as you can see. So this is the satin, the outer parts, and the lining. I'm going to place them on top of each other. Then I'm going to stitch along the armhole and neckline. I'm going to run a stitch right where I'm pointing, as you can see. I'm just going to take it to my sewing machine, then I'm going to run a stitch. Sew the back side of the lining and fabric. The same thing I did with the front, I'm going to do with the back side also. So remember, the dress has the front and back. So I'm now joining the back lining, bodice and skirts, and also the satin fabric back, bodice and skirts together. So I'm just going to remove my pins. So this is the satin fabric for the back. I'm also going to sew it together and join. So this is how my back pieces look like. I'm also going to do the same thing I did in the front. I'll place the linings on top of the satin fabric. Then I'm going to run a stitch from the armhole up to the neckline, similar like the same way I did with the front piece. And also I'm going to put my zipper at the back. So the opening is for the zipper allowance. As you can see, the back has an opening. That is for the zipper allowance, and I'm going to leave some space. I'm not going to stitch on the zipper allowance. I'm going to leave the 1.5 inch open. So that's why I'm just showing you guys to be open. And that is why I'm going to be inserting the zipper. So I'm going to stitch 1.5 inch away from there. So let me just take it to my sewing machine. So once I'm done, I'm just going to press my seams open. So I just stitched the lining and the satin fabric together for the back. Then I'm just pressing my seams open. Remember, pressing your seams, you have to press as you sew. Press as you go. It's very, very important, and it will give you a perfect finish. Then the next thing I'm going to do is to sew the zipper on the back. So this is the front. My front is finished, and that is the zipper I'm going to use. Oh, I've joined the front to the back. The front pieces of my dress, the satin and lining, I've joined them. So now what I'm going to do is to sew the zipper. So I'm going to measure where the zipper is going to end. Then from where the zipper ends, I'm going to run a stitch down. Then the top part where I'm going to stitch my zipper. So I'm just going to take it to my sewing machine and stitch my zipper and stitch from where the zipper is going to end to downwards on the hemline, as you can see me do. So I've just stitched from where the zipper is going to end. Then this is the part where I'm going to sew the zipper. This is the zipper allowance. So I'm just going to get my zipper. Then I'm going to stitch it. So first we're going to sew on the lining, on the fabric only. You can pin your zipper if you wish. So this is the fabric lining. That's where I'm going to start sewing the zipper first. Then later on, I'll show you how to neatly finish it with the lining. So before I do that, I'm just going to change my foot to the zipper foot. I'm just going to get my zipper foot because it will be easier for me to sew. So I'm just going to switch it. So now I'm going to sew the zipper on the fabric only, on the satin fabric only. So this is how beautiful it looks once I sew on the fabric only. So next I'm going to get the lining. So as you can see, this is the opening for the zipper allowance. I didn't stitch it. I'm going to put my lining, as you can see me drop. Then I'm going to sew the zipper to give it a very neat look. So I'm just turning out my lining. Then I'm going to start sewing from the lining side. Just do, first I'm going to finish the top, then I'm going to go down, sewing on the lining side. And this will give it a very neat finish. So I'm going to stitch this top here, then I'm going to start going down. So let me just take it to the sewing machine. And after I'm done, this is how neat the zipper looks, guys. Isn't this neat? If you love this video and you're watching up to this far, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more videos. So this is a beautiful neat look of the zipper. So let me just close it so that you guys can see how beautiful. So we've now finished sewing the top part of the dress. As you can see, the bustier is attached to the pencil skirt. So next I'm going to show you guys how to make the mermaid and attach it to the top part of the dress. So in order to do this, I'm going to make the pattern on a pattern paper, then I'll cut it on the fabric. So we're going to first measure the hemline circumference of the dress. So this is the hemline circumference of the dress. I'm going to measure it, and that measurement of the circumference is what I'm going to use to find the radius. So this is my pattern paper. I'm going to make the pattern for the train mermaid on this pattern paper, then I'll use it to cut on the fabric. So just watch what I'm going to do. It's very easy, guys. So to calculate the radius, I'm going to use the formula hemline of the dress circumference, which was 30 inches, divided by 6.28. So 6.28 is a standard measurement when calculating the radius. Then when I divide, it's going to give me 4.7. So I'm going to use this 4.7 at this corner here. As you can see, I'm going to rotate my measuring tape so that I can make the radius of the circle. Then I'm going to connect the points. The next I'm going to measure from the knee to the floor length. Right from the radius, I'm going to mark my measurement with the measuring tape from the radius going downwards. Then I'm also going to start rotating it, similar to what I did on the other small radius. So this is the bigger radius, using the measurement from the knee to the floor. So I'm going to join the points, as you can see. So this is going to be for the front. I'm just going to cut with my pair of scissors, cut the front piece out. Then the next thing I'm going to do is make the back side of the train. So this is, I'm going to get another pattern paper. So this is not on fold, it's just a plain paper. I'll get my front piece, I'll place it on top of the other paper, then I'll make the train. So I'm just going to trace the same radius. We're going to use the same radius here. I'm going to trace it. Then in order to make the train, I'm going to get the length, the first length, this length here, then I'll multiply it by 2. So if you want your train to be longer, this length of the front, you can multiply it by 3, but I'm just going to multiply it by 2. I'll multiply this length by 2, as you can see. Then I'll connect that point to the next point and form the train for the back. So if you've watched up to this far, thank you so much, and don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you find it useful. Okay, so let's move on. I'm now going to cut the train for the back. Then I'm going to transfer these patterns onto the fabric. So this is my satin and my lining. I'm going to cut the front and back pieces. So this is the lining that I'm going to cut first. Then I'm also going to cut the fabric the same way I'm going to do with the lining. So I'm just going to get my train, the back piece, and cut it. So I'm just going to place my back train on the lining. I'm also going to do the same on the fabric. Then I'm going to pin it and cut out. So I'm just going to cut out with my pair of scissors. I'm going to remove the back piece. So this is my satin front and back, and I've joined the front and back together, as you can see, the train and the front circle. Then I did the same with my lining. I have joined the front and back. So I'll place the lining on top of the satin fabric. Then I'm going to get my crinoline or horsehair braid and sew it around the hemline, as you can see. So crinoline or horsehair braid is going to help to add some structure, stabilize the hemline. So I'm just going to place it on top, and then I'm going to start stitching, as you can see me do. Can stitch around. Then once I'm done, this is how it's going to look. Then I'll turn it over to the satin side, and I'm going to give it another stitch. So there are two ways of doing it. You can stitch it like I'm doing on the satin side only. Then after you're done, you're going to press it with hemming gum to hold the lining and the satin fabric. So you can press it with hemming gum just at this point, meaning your satin fabric won't show any stitches while the crinoline was sewn. So just use hemming gum and there will be no stitches showing on the right side. But if you don't mind having the stitches showing, you can go ahead and run another stitch on top here, meaning there will be no need for you to stitch it on the lining like I did previously. You're just going to run a stitch on top like I am doing. So there you have two options. It's up to you with what you prefer. So in my case, I'm just going to stitch on top without using hemming gum. But if you don't want to have a stitch line showing, just go ahead and use hemming gum with a hot pressing iron. Then after you're done, this is how the train and mermaid looks like. So I'm just going to sew it to my dress. Remember, the dress is done. So this is the dress. Then I'm going to attach it and sew it right there. So I'm just going to get the right side of the train mermaid and the right side of the dress facing each other. Then I'm going to run a stitch from the wrong side. Just place it like I'm doing. Then take it to my sewing machine to run a stitch on top. So these are the right sides facing each other. Then run a stitch over here. So I'm just going to take it to the sewing machine and stitch over. So guys, if you've watched this video up to this far, please don't forget to subscribe and give it a thumbs up. Then after stitching, I'm going to show you how to embellish and decorate the dress easily. So after I finish joining the dress, this is how beautiful it looks after pressing it. Then now we can start embellishing the dress. So I'm just going to place some applique onto the dress. I'm going to get some lace trims, cut them out. Then I'm going to stick them to the dress using glue. So this is E6000 and it's waterproof glue. But if you don't want to use glue, you can just pin the appliques and stitch them on the dress using the sewing machine. So this is the 6000 glue I'm sticking here. Like I said, you can also just use your sewing machine to stitch the applique onto the dress. Then once we're done with this, we're going to have something very, very beautiful. So guys, if you watched this video up to this far, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up and let me know in the comment sections if this video was very helpful to you. So I'm just going to finish embellishing the dress, as you can see me do. Then we have our beautiful wedding dress. Simple, elegant, and yet classy. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I'm so grateful. Don't forget to subscribe, give this video a thumbs up, and let me know in the comment section what you think about this video, if it was helpful, or let me know what other video tutorial I should make for you. Bye.